Okay, we're ready to rock and roll here. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back, everybody. Today we're talking about the new zipForms form editor. If you haven't taken a look at it yet, you are gonna definitely want to do that here because come the 19th, the classic version is going away. So it is no more. Um, it's definitely something at first that I was a little abrasive to and didn't necessarily like the change, but it for sure has grown on me. And I
You're
think
talking
it's
to
more
them.
robust and a good
Here, man.
change.
I'm here.
So, with that being said, I'm going to share my screen here and we'll get started at taking a look at it and go from there. So hopefully you guys can see my screen here and give me a nod if you see a zipForms transaction, the dashboard. Okay, so for today's meeting, we're going to pretend as if we're writing an offer for clients of ours on a property here that just recently came on the market today. So I'm going to try to go through this slow. Sometimes I get ahead of myself and I'm used to it, so I go quick. But up here in the top left, we're going to hit new, click on new purchase or offer. The property address is 25 North Race Street, and it's actually in Middletown. So if you guys don't already use this, this is something I got used to and I like using. MLS Connect here on the right-hand side. You click this, and what this does, it allows you to add the MLS listing ID in. I have another tab open here on my web browser. I just go in, and from the MLS here, I am able to copy and paste this MLS number. Control C if you're using a PC, and Command C if you are a Mac user. So you come back here to the tab with zipForms, right in the MLS listing ID, you're going to hit Control V, that's Control Paste, or Command V for Mac users. For whatever reason, there's always a gap in there when I do that. So you're going to want to delete that out. Then include property photo and click find here on the right. What this does, it goes into Bright and pulls all the pertinent listing information into this transaction. So you're going to go down to the bottom and hit use listing. And then you're going to click on residential because it is a residential transaction. And down here, you're going to want to select what template you're going to use. So if you don't already know, we as Remax First Advantage set up two global templates for you, whether it's a buyer package or a listing package. Now, if you want to go a step further and you haven't already done this, we can modify these even further and add your own agent information into these packages. These packages contained all the company information in them, so it's auto-populated into those forms. You don't have to add that yourself. But again, if you want to go a step further and create your own individual one, you can add your own agent information so that that is auto-populated as well. I'm going to pick my Brooks buyer package here and then hit save. It's automatically going to take me into the new transaction. From here, we're going to go to our document tabs up here in the middle. I'm going to click on folders in the top left, and you see our buyer offer docs folder. Click in here, and now you got a full display of all the pre-formatted, templated forms that are set up. So it's just my personal preference, and I've always kind of done this, and I like doing it that way, is starting with the agreement of sale. I do this because once I put in the buyer information in there, it populates it to the rest of the forms, and I just like starting with the agreement of sale. So when you click on the form, obviously you can see again here the classic form editor will expire on 3/19. So you got 14 days to continue using that, or 14 days to get used to the new one. So we're going to click into the new form editor. And right off the bat, obviously, this looks a heck of a lot different than the original one. But once you get used to it, honestly, I think it's a really good change. So you've got a bunch of different things here. You can adjust the size of your document up here in the top left, zoom in, zoom out. You can print that document. You can download that document. And you have the ability to save your progress along the way. So just like the other ones, all these blue highlighted sections are editable. So you're able to go in and put in your buyer's information and move through the document just as you would in the classic. What I like about this is you have the ability over here on the Forms tab, a window to see all the other documents inside that transaction folder, even to the extent of when you're further along in the transaction, you can see previous e-sign packages in other folders as you set them up. So you have the ability to see these documents, and you can easily add them to your workspace by dragging them in and pulling them right up to the top here. You can also hit this plus button over here on the right-hand side. So that will do the same. Up here, you have the ability to sort and organize them. But what I like about this, as opposed to the old classic one, is you can jump from document to document, and you don't have to scroll page by page to get to different portions of your transaction. So if you're working on the agreement of sale and you want to manipulate something quick in the buyer agency agreement, you just click on that section up here at the top, and you can jump right into the buyer agency contract. So the next part I want to talk about here is you also have the ability to add in additional forms. So if it's, a transaction or an offer that needs to include a price escalation addendum, you can come in here and add a form. Go to the forms library up at the top. It's on the last one I looked at was our personal forms for the office, but you can hit this drop down menu and you can get the PAR forms, and you can search, price escalation addendum, and you just simply add that to your workspace. You can also upload any other documents that you might need for your offer package, including, the seller's property disclosure. For this property, I already downloaded it to, my download sections of my computer. So I just click on that document, hit open, and then it comes into this workspace. So this is actually a good example today. When I pulled up this listing, the listing agent uploaded this document to the MLS upside down. A neat feature of this new forms editor, you have the ability right here to click edit, and you can come in under more, and you can rotate these so that the pages are then right side up, which is definitely a nice touch. That way your folks don't have to read stuff upside down. So that kind of goes over some of the basic stuff with adding forms, but the additional features that you have, let's say you're, along the negotiation path and, a contract gets verbally negotiated and you need to make an adjustment to sales price. If it's just a normal PDF, you have tools in here. Well, you can do this to, editable forms as well. I shouldn't say just normal PDFs, but you have the ability to strike through these documents and make changes as you see fit. So if you need to strike a price, you can strike that. And this is prepping you for when you then go to e-signing in DocuSign, you already have it striked out. You can add a text box if you want, and you can put the new price in, or you can also do that in DocuSign. You have the ability to highlight as well. Now, if you want to delete these, you simply click on them and you have the ability to delete them as you see fit. So a nice, cool feature, I think, of this new forms editor that allows you to do a little bit more without ever getting in and out of all these different documents. Before, you kind of had to click out and go into a new document. If you are interrupted and need to do something immediately, you can hit save and then go back. You can go back to that workspace at any point in time, so long as when you jump back into this, it's going to prompt you and say, do you want to start a new workspace or open your previous one? So you go to open previous, and it has all your workflow already saved, and you're right back where you started. So at this point, let's pretend that we have everything drafted as we want it for an offer. All we have to do is click which ones we want to include for signatures. And remember that you can rearrange the order. So if you had the consumer notice way down at the bottom and you want that first, you can drag and adjust these as you see fit. So from here, you have every document that you want signed. You just go to prepare for signing, and it will start the e-sign envelope for you with the documents in the order that you already created. And if you didn't fully fill out the buyer's information, you can simply go in here and add an email address for them and keep moving forward. So once that looks right, you're good to go. And you can hit next. And so long as your zipForms is hooked up with your DocuSign account, it will take you over into DocuSign for the e-signing part of this offer package. What's nice about doing this from zipForms is, as you probably already know, most of your signatures outside of an uploaded PDF will have the buyer's initials and signature spots already populated into those documents, which should save you a bunch of time. While we're kind of on this topic, and I have your guys' attention, some people don't know this. I'm going to go all the way down to the seller's property disclosure, because there's actually a decent little trick, if you don't already know it, that saves you a good bit of time. So most people, because they're not already populated, you have to drag and drop your initial blocks. And you have to do that for every single page. But what you can do is you can highlight. What I did was I left-clicked, dragged, and highlighted all three of those items. I'm hitting Control or Command C on my computer. I'm copying those, scrolling down to the next page, and hitting Command V. And what that does is it duplicates that initial and date signed package there, and you can put it right into that spot, and it should save you a bunch of time each page instead of dragging them out individually. So if you didn't already know that, it's obviously good to know and can save you a bunch of time. Once you're done with this and you've double checked, triple checked everything and you're good to go, obviously you hit send and you're all set. But for the most part, that's kind of what I wanted to go over here today. I'm gonna at this point stop sharing my screen and kind of open it up for questions and see what you guys have to think. Anybody with any questions on any of that?
Yeah, Brooks.
Yes,
when
sir.
you do that copy and paste, it doesn't pick up the verbiage that's behind it, the pre-printed part, just the initials and the date.
Yes, sir. It just picks up the initials.
Okay.
But yeah, you can drag again, you're left clicking and you hold that click down and that allows you to create a drag box across your screen. You're gonna select all those signatures that you want in the date sign portion, and then you hit Control C on your keyboard, and then Control V on the next page. Anybody else have any questions? Anybody play around with it? Anyone know of any other features with it that I didn't otherwise mention in this quick little demo here? Yeah, Brent.
Back into the screen where we saw all the forms, there is on the far right, there is an icon that says parties. If you go into that, yeah, if you go, it's very, very good. It actually saves even another step. Far right-hand side, you'll see the little thing called parties. Now you can add all of those, so you only have to put in their name, their email address, and then that also auto-populates for you for DocuSign, on all of the locations that you have to fill them out in the forms. It auto-populates it for you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up. I definitely skipped over this a little bit, but when you do that MLS Connect in the first step, when you create that new transaction, that brings in all the listing agent information and seller information automatically. And then you put your buyer information in there as well, and it's saved within this. And like Brent said, once you complete it once, it gets transferred onto the other, appropriate forms as well in the spots that's needed. Now, if for some reason you forget to do the MLS Connect right up front in that first step, it's not to worry. You can actually add that here in this listing tab. You can import that information by adding the MLS number here as well, and it'll do the same sort of thing for you. So that's good to know if you forgot to do that up front, and instead of deleting the whole transaction and starting over from new, you can just simply do that within the forms editor. Jim Penny, I think you might have had a question too.
Yeah, just real quick, Brooks, you said if you save it and you go out, you can resume the existing session, or if you start from scratch on the same person, I guess you'll just start with another set of blank forms. Is that how it works?
So yeah, let me demonstrate that here quick. So I hit save. You can go back out if you have to get into another transaction or something happens. You just want to hit save. So you can open any of these forms. You're going to go through the new forms editor, but it prompts you right in the beginning. Hey, this is what you were working on the last time. Do you want to open it in this previous workspace, or do you want to start with a brand new one? So you can either go to the previous one that has all these documents up in your workspace portion of that right-hand side, or you can start fresh and brand new. But if you want to get back to where you were previously at, obviously you're going to want to hit this tab, open in my previous workspace.
Okay.
Good question. Let me stop sharing so I can see people's faces here. If anyone else has questions at this point, comments? Any other features that I might have skipped over or forgot of? No? Aaron, how are you liking it so far? I know you were a little pessimistic about it at first, but have you played around with it at all?
A little bit. So yes, none of us really love change. And I'm like, why change something that's not broke? But as you're going through it, it's actually kind of cool. I do there's a lot more you can do with like editing and stuff, so you don't have to actually do it once you get into like the signature stuff. So I do actually like it. So maybe they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, no, I was the same way. I didn't really like it at first, but the more I played around with it and found out like there's a bunch of different things adding to that workflow and doing stuff without getting out of one document and into the next, I think it's ultimately going to save you time and allow you to do more, and be more efficient. That's all I had for us here today. Aaron, you want to talk about the chili cook-off?
Yeah, so I have a couple people signed up. I know as realtors that some people like to wait to the last minute, but I would really like to get a list of participants that are going to join this year. I am assuming that all last year's winners are going to, try for their hand at first place again. Matt Wall, you join again?
Yeah, we'll be there in time.
Well, Gene, it's 9:30.
And
All right.
Morgan's gonna join in. Dan Hartman from Title's
Alright.
gonna join in. I'm trying to get my mom Tammy. She was cutting checks for me while I was away, and she said that she was signing everything. Aaron's mom, which I thought was cute. But Joe Schutz will be in it. So yeah, so let me know. Steve Voorhees, you did it last year. You gonna join again?
I'm not committed yet, but I'll tell you today. How's that?
Okay. Well, I'm gonna keep sending out the emails, so typical for me.
Sounds
That's
good.
March 13th.
Awesome. Aaron, I was waiting until you got back, but Wild Heart Ministries reached out to me. They have another business day out coming up in April. I don't remember the exact date, but that's definitely something, we talked about previously, Aaron and I, and it was really cool to be a part of that the last couple times we've done it. And we'll get more information and hopefully we can get a group of us together and do that again.
Yeah, we actually we had a really good time and it felt like we were really helping and it's meaningful. So yeah, that's super exciting, Brooks.
Yep. And then also, I know it's a ways out at this point, but we're doing another ride and drive event for Penn State Children's Hospital. And that's going to be, I believe, June 15th. And if you know any bikers or car enthusiasts that want to participate, we had a great little trip last year and it was a good day. I don't think we're going to do as much stuff with the family fun day out. We'll still have probably some yard games and stuff like that. But it's going to be a good ride and drive event. So please keep that in mind and share the event on Facebook if you can, and hopefully we can get good participation.
Yeah, we'll send like a save the date out, maybe for some stuff coming up. Maybe we'll do a whole thing because we have the golf tournament booked for a date too. So maybe we'll just do a couple of different events that we know that are coming up and send that out to everybody so they know.
That'd be awesome.
That's something we'll do with postcards again too. So if as we get closer to the time, if you want to share it with your clients, it's just another way to reach out and touch a contact.
Absolutely. That's a great idea. We'll get that in the works.
I have a question.
Yeah, Joe.
Does you entered that only through the purchase side? Is there any change on the listing side?
Not a whole heck of a lot. It's the same stuff. That's kind of why I only went over one side. But if any of you guys have any questions or want me to go through it one-on-one with you, don't hesitate to reach out. I'd be happy to sit down with you and show you around.
The only other question I have is like over time, I have somehow inadvertently saved some things to a template that are incorrect. Like on the like when you have that listing connect, when you're describing the property, somehow the township of Silver Spring pops up every time and it's not obviously. How do you make that go away or change it or you know, that sort of thing?
Yeah, so that's going to be done in your templates section. That happens actually, that's a common mistake. My mom actually just recently did that to my Brooks buyer template. So instead of going to a new transaction, people see templates there at the top. They click on that and they go into whatever buyer package that you already have set up. And they start manipulating that template as if it was their offer. But what that does going forward is it saves it to that template. And then anytime you create a new transaction and add that template to that transaction, now you have all the old property information from the previous offer that you made applied to your new transaction. So you're going to want to go into templates, which if you're on the home screen, it'd be right at the top. And from there, you're going to click on whatever, if it's the buying package or the listing package, and then click on whatever forms have that information, clear out the sections that you need to, hit save, and you should be good to go.
Good question, Joe. I did the same thing.
Yeah.
Joe, you're muted.
Yeah, we don't have you on audio.
Don't worry, I was just swearing.
Sir,
Joe,
if
if you
you're
need
in the
help-
office here this afternoon,
Yeah.
hit me up. I'll help you out.
Thanks.
No problem. Alrighty, guys, we'll wrap it up here today. Hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you next week.